You'll be amazed. The good thing is that I've been with them before. I was with some generals when they were lieutenant colonels. And they risen all the way to that point. So be rest assured, medicine has a way of letting you fit in many situations, letting you face many challenges. And the same way that I treated them and their families with respect, with dignity, and with professionalism, whilst at 37 Military Hospital, they can be rest assured that when I was living 16, 17 years ago, I'm coming back even to do it bigger and better. Thank you.
Chairman, I don't have a follow-up on that, but I'll go to my last question. I was reading about the top 5 military trends in 2024. It included artificial intelligence, advanced defense equipment, Internet of Military Things, robotics and autonomy system, and big data analytics. Looking at our armed forces, which of these new trends fits into our armed forces? And I know you've been talking about modernizing our army. And I don't want to sit here to talk about our equipment base or whatever. We're sent to Akosombo with all the security personnel, and we're run through what we have. All the former security coordinators, defense officers, they were all there. We know our strength. But looking at where we sit today and what I just mentioned, what are you going to do to improve in the area of technology to enable our armed forces meet the current trends in military and defense strategies? Thank you, and I wish you the very best, Kofi.
Thank you very much.
I proceed to give the floor to Honorable Rocks. Oh, very well, very well. Yes. Answer that question.
Mr. Chairman, to be very brief, modernization of the military is something that will be on the front burner. Whilst we pursue that, we will also not fall into the trap of, if we are not having the sophistication that is needed, it means we are paralyzed. So we shall optimize what we have. And I must say, it's very limited if you are to look at the trends, what our neighbors are doing, and the fact that we have assets in our land borders, the sea borders, and all. For instance, as I sit here, when I think of the Kita and the Volta basins, they stretch or seem to be stretching to other countries. These are matters that may even bring border disputes and all. So modernization is critical. We will not look at the modernization just within the context of equipment and technologies, but even modernization, the human resource and accommodation and everything, because it is when we look at it holistically that we will be able to have more from less. Our budget is limited. We are in a very difficult economic situation, and that is why when I met them, I said we need to innovate. We need to look at even how we can projectize some of our projects to tap into climate funds, so that if we can show that we have this carbon credit to trade, we will be able to have some funds to finance the military. So all these will be on board. In talking about Galamsey, I made mention of the UAVs, some of them which can even be weaponized. They all fit into this. But I will say that let's not let technology paralyze our military. because the force that we have, the expertise that they have, respected across the globe, there's so much that they are doing with the little that they have. I know they don't have the platforms to be able to fight some of the battles that they must engage in. But even there, you talk to them, and as ways of making up for the deficits, they sometimes even place naval officers on commercial vessels just so they can be able to protect some of these vessels and protect also our territorial integrity. So there are people who innovate a lot. There are people who, when supported, they will be able to do more for us. And so we will put all the balls in the air and ensure that our army is strengthened to be able to aggressively and timeously face any external aggressors. And if they also have to assist within our territory in ensuring law and order, they will do it professionally. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will proceed to recognize Alassane Umar. Please be brief.
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Omane Boamah, congratulations. I've known you for quite a while, and I worked with you to beautifying Ghana and attracting companies, which are the BPO, business processing. The question, yes, Chairman, indulge me to thank him. We had an issue, and the issue was to build the Accra Digital City. The minister was anonymous, helped me when the police came after me. Yes, it even ended in court just to make Ghana work. After putting up a very nice, converting warehouses into grade A facility opposite Awudome Cemetery. Yes.
Honorable Umar, I hope after your story there will be no question.
The story, it ends with a question. I know Minister to be very detailed and is going to perform, is going to help the military, and he's going to reform, bring a lot of reform to the sector. Minister, I have just received this from Defense Civilian Staff of Ghana Armed Forces. Accordingly, they have expressed long-standing concerns about the removal of their risk allowances during the implementation of the single spine salary structure. All efforts with this government or authorities have failed. They want me to ask you, what will you help them to get it fixed? Thank you.
So it is not your question, but their question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This question has fiscal implications. And also, we will need to assess the salary structure that is pertaining as we speak now, to know how they arrived at the salary structure. Because sometimes in determining salary structure, some items are consolidated. For instance, during the ADHA days, additional duty hours allowance days, when the President Kufuor administration was doing away with the ADHA, they consolidated. So I'm not seized with the entire details of this. So with your approval, if I get to the ministry, I would want to engage my former colleagues. They are my former colleagues, because I was a civilian employee of the Ministry of Defense. I want to engage my former colleagues, know exactly the mechanics and the dynamics, and then we will have an amicable resolution. Thank you. And thanks very much for the work that we did together to get Ghana the Accra Digital Center.
So please ask your last question.
Thank you. Minister, it's been observed that the military have been sometimes politicized. And especially having come out from these 2024 elections, in my constituency, people came in military uniform and they were not detailed to be there. The question I want to ask is, how will you enforce discipline and stop this politicization of our military? Thank you.
Thank you. It will be a collaborative effort. If you look at the Armed Forces Council, we have the civilians and we have the soldiers working together. And it's a reality that we have to confront and address. As I've said here, we need to give the National Election Security Task Force some strong parliamentary backing. When that is done, a soldier who is being sent out by an aberrant individual will know that there are consequences ahead. It doesn't mean that as we speak, there can be no consequences for such soldiers. And in this day and age, cameras are in our palms because of our phones. People may have such evidence, images of such soldiers. The National Election Security Task Force, led by the IGP, is reviewing the entire election security and what happened. Honorable, I urge you to submit such pieces of evidence to the IGP's office. And I believe it's when we are able to identify such aberrant soldiers that we will be able to protect the thousands that are decent and professional. Thank you.
I wish you well. Thank you.
I proceed to give the floor to Roxanne Nelson, the form of honor.
Doc, congratulations.
Thank you, Council.
Somebody asked me, why defense? I said, Doc can even serve as Governor of Bank of Ghana, and he will succeed. Now, I want a yes and answer to my questions so that we have too many military barriers when we are entering the Volta region. Too many, just too many. Will you consider reducing them when you take office? It's Volta region, it's not Western Togoland. Chairman, I'm being harassed by Boamah. Second, I have close affinity with the civilian staff of the military. And I'm aware that the 13th month bonus, Christmas bonus, they do get it, but these days it doesn't come. Will you consider reinstating it for them?
Yes, it will be considered.
Thank you. Now, finally, I come from a riverine constituency in the Volta region. I have arguably the longest stretch of the lakefront as a constituency in South Dine. I share my western boundary with Afram Plains North and my southwestern boundary with Afram Plains South constituency. There are thousands of people who live on islands that are days sail away from civilization. If you are moving from DJ Island, for instance, to Germany, it takes you several days by boat. When there's a disaster, we are helpless. You can be rescued by another boat, which also takes hours. Will you consider getting a military helicopter dedicated for such emergencies and health rescue particularly? How the people can be lifted, those who are alive can be lifted out of water so they don't sink when they get tired after swimming. You know what I speak of. Will you consider an equipment of that nature?
Yes.
The Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you very much. Honorable, may I please find out from you if you are aware that we have an
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And may I please ask, have you had a critical look at that act?
Not a critical look, but I have read bits and pieces of it.
How are you going to ensure the promotion of the women's agenda? So if you can let me have your clear initiative to ensure that women representation increases in your ministry. Thank you.
So, Chairman, in trying to analyze the Ghana Armed Forces from a gender lens, I also went into a bit of the history of the Ghana Armed Forces. And I found the Women Auxiliary Corps, that there used to be something like that. We can have a national discussion on this, and also with the advice of the military, because it's something that caught my eye and caught my attention, that this could be one of the ways that we can enhance the presence of women in the military. I know that the training is very rigorous, and so we may have to look at how it was done in the past. Those who can participate in the rigorous training may be categorized within a certain domain. And can we also have something along the lines of a Women Auxiliary Corps that can help improve the percentage of females within the Ghana Armed Forces? So in trying to do a gender perspective of the Ghana Armed Forces, this is one thing that caught my eye regarding the history of the Ghana Armed Forces. But I know the trained soldier will say that once you want to wear the uniform, you must be ready and willing to abandon all hopes of normal life. I know that is exactly what they will say. But I also see an opening, because at 37, professionals were sent on peace mission without necessarily going through the months of training before they went on the mission. So it means that the military can use the innovation that they have, if they really want to use it, to enhance the presence of women within the Ghana Armed Forces. It is something that is very dear to my heart, and we will engage them. I know it is going to be tough for them to agree, but we will have a win-win situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable nominee, by your answer, I get the feeling that you go by the perception that women are weaklings and will not be couched to be in the military landscape. If I get it right.
Mr. Chairman, no, that is not it. But the truth is, there is a reason the 100-meter record for men and for women are different. when they are recruited or enlisted, they are not going to make exceptions. Ask them. The physical training, you see them, they have to go. And sometimes carrying of locks. I'm hearing the response from the soldiers. Carrying of locks. Women are carrying it and everything. So I'm saying that equity. Women are stronger than men in several aspects. How can the Ghana Armed Forces also take advantage of the things that women are stronger in? That will even weaken men at training. How can they take advantage? So it's going to be a very innovative kind of process. But I believe that when we bring in more people, we will be able to carve out a compromise position that does not compromise the security of even the women that we will be recruiting. And I draw on the fact that doctors and other professionals go on peace missions without necessarily going through the several months of training. Of course, we go through some limited training and then we are good to go.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I'm happy you mentioned that you haven't had a critical look at the affirmative action bill. But it's a clause 60 which enjoins every ministry to ensure the achievement of the attainment of equity. That is the 30-70. And that is the reason why I'm asking you how you're going to do it. Because it is very important. There's the general view out there that it is almost unachievable when we relate it to the service. But I believe you've given us a right answer by saying that you believe there are innovative ways of looking at the issue. But let's look at this issue critically. How will you work to eliminate barriers for women in taking up combat roles or other specialized areas within the armed forces?
Mr. Chairman, this is a very loaded question, and I don't know how long I have to deal with this. Because the barriers, if you are to look at it like a labyrinth, very, very long, right from childhood, all the way, from the time of menarche and all that, menstrual cycle, they all pose major barriers to women. And so it will take a concerted effort. And sometimes when I hear, someone has broken the glass ceiling, I think it's an oversimplification of the issues that concern women and girls. Because whilst that person gets to that point of breaking the glass ceiling, we forget, that kind of narrative forgets about the many that fell apart and the many obstacles that we erect whilst these women are striving to achieve what they want to achieve. And even in this room, Parliament, let's check the dominance of men here. This brings to mind the need for us to take the act and have a serious national discussion about it, particularly NDPC, and how we can deliberately mainstream gender perspectives into everything that we do. I'm not a believer in the gender desk system, where you just place a solitary person in a ministry as a gender person, seeing to that gender desk. If we can get policymakers at the top to imbibe gender perspectives, maybe President Mahama has shown the way. We have a vice president in Professor Nana J. Opoku-Agyeman who will sit in cabinet, who in the absence of the president will be the acting president, will be chairing cabinet meetings in the absence of the president. And so you can understand that we will begin to have the rippling effect of gender perspectives coming from the top. Ending on the Ghana Armed Forces, fortunately, the vice president will be chairing the Armed Forces Council. And the vice president is a woman. So you can be rest assured that as we work with the soldiers to have a workable document, when placed before the Armed Forces Council, that will be chaired by the Vice President, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, we are likely to have favorable decisions being made from there. But we need to work together on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I do appreciate that you have rightly showed the way. And that's why I want you to put on your gender lenses very well and look at all the areas that you need to address. It is important because we would not just pass the law and not see any good implementation of the various clauses in the law. It is important that we need to ensure that it doesn't turn into a document on the shelves, but ensure that we can. So I want each and every ministry to take note of that and then find out how best. Yours is the most difficult one. So I commend you for answers so far given, but I'll be taking a very critical look of how you are perform under such circumstances. And how will the Ministry of Defense collaborate with other stakeholders to ensure that children in conflict-prone areas have access to safety, education, and good health care? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The professionalism of our soldiers is not in doubt. And we believe that so long as when we insert the soldiers in conflict-prone areas and we stick to the timelines for their rotations, they are not likely to be embedded for too long so that they may take sides. It is also the reason we need to ensure regional balance, that is equity in the recruitment and the enlisting, so that even in deployment, we are careful not to deploy soldiers who may take sides as they move. And we believe that once we are able to achieve this and also have facilities that can let children study and learn, even as conflicts are resolved amicably in their communities, we will be able to take care of them. Of course, it will not be like a peaceful place where there is no conflict, but at least they are not likely to be missing lessons in school, healthcare, and all. And so, as we establish some of these bases, and it's the reason the forward operating bases are very important. When they are well developed, we can have MRS systems where basic ailments can be taken care of within these bases. And it is very, very likely that with physician assistance and good referral systems, if they have to be referring, they refer to the major hospitals. It is not just about education and health, even water. This is where the military, presently embarking on an industrial drive, can also look at how they can drill more boreholes across the country, all in a bid to enhance human security. And as we enhance human security, the people will begin to love the military even far more than they do love the military. And it is when we do more of the human security that they will appreciate exactly what the Ghana Armed Forces stands for and does for the nation. This is because, sometimes when your doctor takes very good care of you and you don't fall sick, you don't appreciate what the doctor is doing for you. Because we have not been attacked, we may not be appreciating the efforts going into what we are experiencing, right from the Accra initiative and all. And so we need to balance the real combat situations with the human security aspect. And I believe a healthy blend of the two will let the populace appreciate that if you met a Major Mahama somewhere, you need to protect a Major Mahama. You don't need to kill a Major Mahama. He's been trained to defend you as a citizen. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. In dealing with the vulnerables, we know that in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, we are being urged to ensure that we include everybody. The mantra is leave no one out. How will you or how will your ministry promote the inclusion of persons injured in the line of duty? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We are racing against time when it comes to sustainable development goals. 2030 has caught up with us. We have just 5 years to 2030. And if you look at the indicators, we have issues. Health for all is still a major issue. Issue of vulnerable, very, very critical. And the US, for instance, really pays attention to their vulnerable, including those who are injured during wars and all. Walter Reed is awash with a lot of those people, the Walter Reed Hospital. What we need to do is, what are their needs? They can begin to walk without necessarily walking like the way they were walking previously, but assisted to walk. And we have some of these facilities in the country. We can expand it. The military itself, I would say, has almost every profession in there. The military, as part of the industrial drive, can begin to set up such outfits to produce prostheses that can help such vulnerable people. Beyond that, there are other decent jobs that people who are vulnerable can take advantage of. And within the military itself are several of them, right from the hospitals, manning elevators, administrative, we can avail to them. The local government ministry, that also sees to the district assembly common fund, would also have to assist such people. They may be soldiers, all right, but they live in communities. So in looking at local economic development, how do we channel local economic development programs to be able to support such vulnerable people? These are all issues that, knowing the nature of President Mahama and his readiness and willingness to assist such vulnerable people. A case in point was the amputees who went and won a cup somewhere last year, where he parted with a good sum of money just to support them. I'm very, very confident that working together as partners, and Parliament also ensuring that when the formula is being distributed, people with disability have their fair share, or if I may say, lion's share of that. That will help us very, very much, because we need to look at them. They were once like us. Permit my saying, just with one road traffic accident, anyone can be like them. And so we need to prepare to support them, whether they are veterans, whether they are serving soldiers, or whether they are civilians. Thank you.
Your answer, you've actually prompted me to ask this question, because as a minister, will you ensure that the defense budget incorporates gender-responsive allocation to address inequalities in the defense ministry?
Yes.
Thank you. Right. And then finally, my final question. I know for a fact, and you also know for a fact, that currently in the country there's never been a female who has risen or ascended to the highest position in the military. But currently, I realize that there are some women at some other places. Would you promise me, or promise this House, that you are going to, your term as a minister, you are going to ensure that some of these women are propped up and assigned to the position of the highest, which no one has ever ascended to? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I believe that the women in the military are there on merit, and if at any point in time, in terms of rank, that is being considered, and rank-wise, it is the right thing to do, is an advice that I will provide to the Commander-in-Chief himself. And he's the person who chose Vice President Nana Opoku-Agyeman as his running mate. You can be sure he'll be too glad to have such a feat.
That's what I mean. They have really gotten to a place where they can be promoted to ascend to the highest position. Anyway, thank you very much. I know that given the nod, you are going to assist or support the progress of women in the defense service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will recognize Honorable George Kweku Rickett Hagan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Nominee, Dr. Omane Boamah, congratulations. I know you do a good job. First of all, I would like to, on behalf, I'm sure my chairman will do that, but as a vice chairman, I would like to apologize for the time that you have been here, for no fault of yours, earlier challenges that we had. I'm only going to ask you one question, because I don't want to prolong your time here. Question is a bit, I just want your view. Obviously, matters of defense are sensitive in nature, but I'm interested in knowing about the defense budget. I realize that in the last, at least since 2020, the COVID period, to 2024, the military or the defense budget has basically been declining for the last 4 years. And then as a percentage of GDP, it's actually quite small compared to, other countries. Now, we've attempted to buy certain military equipment. I wouldn't like to, name them for obvious reasons. And I'm wondering, we are in a very difficult economic situation, as you know, in terms of fiscal space, in terms of debt levels. I know that the army is there to protect us, the frontiers of Ghana, of Ghanaians, and we need to make sure that they have the resources and well equipped to do that, including the use of modern technology. But what is your view? Is the military currently adequately funded? I mean, I know with everything, people ask for more money. But in your view, I know you haven't been there yet, but of course, I know you, before you came here, you've done some research. In your mind, and this is a view, is the army, or just make it defense, adequately funded to protect this country when the need be? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. When one of the best finance brains in the country is asking you a question about financing, you have to sit well. I try to use evidence to back my conclusions. And the temptation is there for everyone to say we are not adequately funded. So I went beyond what was inadequate funding. Unfortunately, I and Honorable Kandapa were the co-chairs for the Security and Public Safety Committee of the transition. So if you look at the dwindling capacity, and for good reasons, I don't want to mention any of that. If you look at the dwindling capacity, it's clear that we need to do more. We need to do more. And you know, we need to be careful as a country because the descent of terrorists is real. The derivatives of Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, ISIS and all, and even in this country, even though we've not experienced terrorist attack, evidence suggests that one or two people once moved to join ISIS. If this has happened, it should tell you indoctrination may even be happening somewhere. If we begin to look at the budget within this context, then we will understand why, even though we need water, even though we need higher salaries, even though we need more roads, even though we need A, B, C, blah, 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 we need to spend more on our defense systems. But we also have to be innovative in the financing. We may have to, and I believe, move away from buying at once, let's say $100 million, $150 million, or $200 million. Can we begin to go into more structured financing where it is spread over longer periods? Particularly if we are going to be committed to it and meeting our debt obligations. That can assure them because they know the credibility of Ghana's army. Ghana Armed Forces is not going anywhere. And so if we are buying an equipment for them, particularly if we dovetail it into the wet lease system of peace support operations, there is so much that we can have. Through that, we can have more casas to transport our troops and also to transport others. Through that, we can also have a jet that can not just carry the executive, but also the legislature, the judiciary, and other aspects of our nation when the need arises. Through that, we can also improve on the platforms that we have for our military to take action, either on the sea or in terms of having more air assets for our Air Force. Because otherwise, as we speak, we have a 3-star general heading the Air Force. But I'm sure you know, go into the air assets that we have. It's not good for our country. It's not good for our security. It's not good for our safety. We need to double up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I did say I will ask one question, so I'll stick to that. I know that we'll have opportunity in the future to have more constructive and progressive discussions on military funding in this country. I know you do well. I wish you well. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now proceed to give the floor to the ranking member and the minority leader.
Page 3 of your CV. Please, can I proceed? Please, you have the leadership positions held. And the last on the list, if you may read it aloud. If you may read the last one aloud.
Mr. Chairman.
Proceed.
Yeah. President Cadet Commandery 403 of Knights of St. John International, 1994 to 1996.
Are you a member of this, the Knights of St. John's order?
I was part of the Cadet Commandery. That is the younger ones, but I didn't progress to the senior level.
So, let's stay there a bit. At that level, so was it a fraternity of the Catholic order? The Knights of St. John, was it a fraternal order?
It is an association in the Catholic Church. We went DePaul. Knights of St. John is also an association within the Catholic Church.
So it's a fraternal order within the church.
I don't know the operational definition that you are giving to fraternal order. That's why I'm sticking to an association. It's a society within the church.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. So, in that order, in that society, what were you taught?
At the cadet level, we were taught discipline, being time conscious, values of Christianity, fellow feeling, love for one another, and the military drills that we went through, because it's a paramilitary society that we went through, also helped to shape us. We also had a lot of drama events that we performed at St. George Cathedral. And it also helped us, even a public speaking wise. We also went on programs where people from different commanderies came together. We all met in Asamankese. That time, the Accra and the Koforidua dioceses, we all came together as young people and served God, learned a lot, engaged in quizzes, and also played together.
You would agree with me that membership was not open to everybody?
So long as you are a Catholic and you fall within that age bracket, it's open to you. When you mature, you then can move to the senior level. And it's something that one day I will progress into.
Is there a process of initiation to enable you join at the senior level?
At the senior level?
Yes.
I haven't joined, so I'm unable to tell.
How would you react to a person who does not know about the value system in the Night of St. John and denigrates same? How would you react?
Night of St. John, we are taught the values of Christ, Christ-like, tolerance. And so we will take such criticisms in our stride, and if there's the opportunity to educate them, like this huge platform is giving me the opportunity to share what we were taught, I will definitely share such thoughts with such a person.
You agree with me that those who do not belong to this society and this order would not know the tenets of this order, correct?
I mean, so
you need to belong to know. If you don't, you are not a member, you didn't know. You agree with me?
I mean, unless you're a medical doctor, you are not likely to know the nitty-gritties of what we do.
Look, I want to be very short with you. Just like Dr. Fiamakpo, my respected classmate, said. Just go straight to the point, because I know some of your guys are anxious. I would be as short as possible with you if you just stay to the course. What I'm saying is that those who are not members of this fraternity within the Catholic Church would not know a tenet, correct?
They will know some of them, but not all.
Let me stay there briefly with you. It is not open to everybody, correct?
It is
outside of the church.
No,
you must first be a Catholic.
Catholic.
And being a Catholic, you must elect to be part of it.
Yes.
It's not the only society in the Catholic Church.
No.
So if you are not a member of that society, you wouldn't know its value system and practices. You would agree with me?
Because we do membership drive, we share some of these value systems. And I remember even those days in Pope John, I mean...
So my point is that if you are not a member, or if you've not had the benefit of knowing the values of the society, you wouldn't know.
Exactly. Just
simple.
Like any other
That's
thing.
the point.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me understand you on your employment history. Page 2 of your CV. Let me know when you get there. You're there. So, item 2, you didn't number it, but the point 2, policy advisor and political strategist to President John Dramani Mahama, 2017 to 2024. Were you on salary? Were you paid? Very well. As private medical practitioner, Afra International Hospital, 2019 to 2022, was it on salary?
Not on salary, but on... there was compensation, but not on like monthly salary as had been structured.
So were you working in and performing some services and being paid?
No. For the periods that I worked, I could work, let's say, for 1 month, sometimes 2 months, and then it will be accumulated and paid.
How were you paid?
I don't understand your question. How?
I mean, you said that there was some compensation, not salary per se. You said not salary per se, the monthly salary. That's what you just said.
Yes.
Right, but you were paid.
Yes.
Were you paid on the table, cash on the table, or they paid through your account direct transfer, or they issued you a check anytime the employer needed to pay you?
It was paid directly.
Cash on the table, you mean?
Not cash on the table. Cash
Doc.
in envelope.
Cash in envelope?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, you would agree with me? You would agree with me? Dr. Kwame, are you a free? The nominee, who is your cousin, is on oath. And you are having a convo with him. And honorable nominee, my respected friend, you are on oath. You are supposed to stay away from all external convo. Is that okay? Very well. Now, you would agree with me that since you were receiving your salary, your compensation, your pay in an envelope, cash in an envelope, you would agree with me that you wouldn't know whether your employer was paying your tax or not.
I wouldn't know, but I have no reason to doubt that the employer will not pay.
Have you, within the period 2019 and 2022, did your employer, Afra International Hospital, furnish you with evidence of payment of taxes on your behalf?
No.
Given the opportunity, would you furnish this committee with proof of your taxes being paid for the period 2019 to 2022, where you, as Dr. Omane Boamah, had to receive your salary in an envelope, cash on the table in an envelope?
Definitely, since it's the responsibility of the employer, I can contact the employer. And if that is what you need, definitely.
It's statutory. It's not that what I need, with respect. Yeah. I mean, when we work, we're supposed to pay. It's our duty to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And you are coming into public service. That's why you stated it on your CV. That's why I'm doing this inquisition.
Yeah.
So it's not that I need. The state needs it. Now, let me move to the next point. If I understand your CV, page 2, correctly, you are saying that the last time you were gainfully employed was November 2022, correct?
Not necessarily. And I take it as, if not well structured, it will be as if I had no income from December 2022. I had. And because I'm directly responsible for that, I even have documents to prove the tax aspect of that.
Doc, I'm taking it step by step. On your CV, point 1 on your CV, you have told this honorable committee that you worked between 2019 to November 2022. In fact, for the 2019, you did not provide us which month you started working with AFRA. Would you be able to provide us with the month you started working?
I'll check it.
Very well.
Yeah.
That's fair. Now, in this employment, were you given a letter of appointment? Were you given a letter where your conditions of service were spelled out? Were you?
I was given a letter of appointment, and let me capture the context very well for you. It was a very teething hospital that I had to provide my service to support them to stand on their feet. And so, even at the initial stage, it was subsequently that the payments commenced. But I was okay because it was a service that I was rendering. It helped me also to sharpen my skills, not to go stale as a medical doctor, while still serving my party. So yes, there was a letter of appointment along the line as a practitioner there. What I recall is the exact details of it, but I believe if I go through
so
my things, I'll be
if
able
you
to
say
locate.
you received an appointment letter along the line,
Yeah.
are you suggesting to this honorable committee that ab initio you were not issued with an appointment letter, which letter would have to trigger a commencement of work?
Initially, no, but the evidence abounds because a lot of the clinical work that we did were computerized. So if you want confirmation of my practice, you can find it directly on the digital platforms of the hospital.
Okay, Doc, so let's go back. On the November, you said you ended your employment in November. And I was asking you that from November 2022 up until now, have you been employed by any entity again, or that your services at AFRA International extended beyond November?
No, it didn't. And it was because around that time, I needed to help my party organize a national congress. And then after that also, we had our presidential primaries. I couldn't
That's fair enough. That's
the
fair.
time, and subsequently became director for elections and IT.
Doc,
and so I didn't make...
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So let me ask you this. So you will agree to the suggestion that your work as director of IT was not an employment, correct?
I won't see it as an employment, unless you want to construe it that
Well,
way.
let me qualify. Did you earn any salary or were you being paid any allowance as a director of IT?
Occasionally.
Were you paying tax on that allowance?
I paid subsequently.
What do you mean by you pay subsequently?
I've addressed all my tax obligations.
Take it easy. Doc, take it easy. I don't want us to make it clumsy. I don't want us to be all over the place. Take it easy. I want us to deal with the issue step by step. You're going to be our defense minister. Just step by step. Employment is employment. And I want to know from you that after the AFRA International Hospital, November 2022, it ended. Activities. You had to now pay attention, flag bearership, election, and all. So you were occupied with that work, correct?
Correct.
So what I want to know from you is January to December 2023. January to December 2024.
Yeah.
Were you doing any work of which you were earning salary or that you were being paid allowances?
Yes, and I have answered that as Director for Elections and IT, occasionally we were given allowance. And I've also added that for that period, 2023 and 2024, I have ensured that the requisite taxes have been paid.
I'm saying that.
But I know where you are going.
No,
That
no,
is why I'm.
Doc. Easy with me.
And it's here.
Chairman, you know that I have my good friend seated to your right. Please take it easy. Let's pick one at a time.
Yeah.
So that we can end this thing quickly. I beg of you.
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right. Now, between 2023 and 2024, you are telling this committee that your earnings, the only thing you earn, came from your job as Director of IT at your party headquarters, where you were being paid occasional allowance. Is correct?
Yeah. So, Mr. Chairman, this is where there was a need for me to explain this. I don't know what you see as earnings per your definition. But for instance, I have investment, which I earned from, some of which have been affected by the haircut, the financial haircut. You understand? So I put all these together as my earnings, not just the limited occasional allowance that we had. And that's why I said, I know where you are heading. Because if you don't understand the question, I don't even attempt to answer it. I knew where you were heading. And that's why I said, for 2023 and 2024, that I had that personal responsibility to pay on what I was earning for those years. I have satisfied my tax obligations.
Honorable nominee.
And the committee has the tax clearance certificate before us.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Honorable nominee. You've provided me with some additional information on your investment, which has suffered from haircuts. We'll deal with that separately. But let me ask you, the allowances that you were receiving, occasional allowances that you were receiving as Director of IT from your party headquarters, were these allowances being paid into your account, or it was also in an envelope tabletop?
So, Chairman, it was not paid into my account.
How did you receive it?
I normally will keep it with my directorate, and then as and when I have to spend from it, I authorize.
So you were receiving it cash? In other words, cash?
Well,
because these were allowances.
Interestingly, I never went to even receive it myself on any occasion. So I will not be able to tell. But what I know is that whenever I wanted...
So you were receiving occasional allowance. This allowance that you received, which was an earned allowance, you had earned it, it's an income. Did you find out from your party, the Director of Finance of your party, whether these allowances that were paid you, perchance, they deducted taxes from it?
No.
Given the opportunity, would you want to furnish us with evidence of taxes being deducted from these allowances from your party headquarters?
Yes, if it's available.
Now, do you know how much in total, 2023, 2024, you earn by way of allowances that were paid you?
I wouldn't know. I would have to check.
Okay. So we are dealt with the 2023-2024. On record, you are saying that though you received some allowances, these allowances, you never picked them directly. You normally left them with the directorate, and as and when you needed, same was transmitted to you via Momo, correct?
Not to me.
To spend, okay. So these allowances that you earn, you ended up spending them on party activities, correct?
Some on party activities, some also on other
benevolence?
people. Yes, on other people.
Benevolence.
On other people who depend on
needed
me.
On supports. All right. Now, so we have dealt with one leg of it. Now let's come to the information you volunteered, though it's not on your CV. Your other assets. You're saying that you have some investment, and these investments suffer some haircuts. In the year 2023, how much you earned on your investment?
Chair, I wouldn't be able to sit here, and I believe the honorable member cannot answer same for
I'm
himself.
not on oath, with respect. I'm not on oath. I'm not on oath
to
Doc,
answer this accurately.
Doc,
and because I'm
respectfully,
on oath,
Chairman,
because
no,
I'm
Chairman.
on oath, I wouldn't want to give a figure that I would not be able to.
Right, so that is fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. I wouldn't overstretch it. So, given the opportunity, Chairman, given the opportunity, will you be able to furnish this committee with how much you earn in 2023 from your investment? Would you be able to furnish us with it?
Yes, I will.
2024,
Republic Bank.
2024, did you earn some income on your investment?
Yes.
Given the opportunity, would you be able to?
Bank.
Very well. Now, in your tax assessment, did the Ghana Revenue Authority have the opportunity of knowing all that you had earned by way of investment income?
Yes.
Please, since you have your tax returns with you, that's now, it's a one-page document. Do you have it with you, please? You've stated there, 2023, turnover 34,858. It is stated there.
Yes.
Turnover 34,858. Chargeable income 34,858. Is it the case that you provided these figures to GRA, or they sifted same from the document you provided?
I have a tax person who helps me to do it. So I provided the information, and then this was the assessment that was made.
Which information specifically?
The earnings and everything all put together.
Through your bank statement, you mean?
Through the One, the earnings from the bank, that is 2024, 2023, and also a fair idea of what I had instructed to be spent from the support that the party had given me in terms of allowance.
So do I take it that the 2023 assessment is a combination of your investment with Republic Bank and the allowances that you earn from the party headquarters, correct?
Exactly.
Same to 2024,
Exactly.
correct? Very well.
That's what I was trying to explain initially.
Yes, but I have to ask you, then you provide the answer. Is that fair?
Yes.
Very well. Are you able to furnish us with the details of this investment as you've referred to?
Yes, I can.
Doc, have you had the opportunity to talk to Honorable Dominic Nitio?
Yes, because we served on the transition committee together, and I had to also as subcommittee, and he was the chairperson there. So we co-chaired that, and subsequently we also discussed the Ministry of Defense when my appointment was announced. True.
And per the public records of Honorable Nitio, he's a 1977 born. I'm in disclosing that to you.
He's my junior brother.
I'm saying that he's a 77 born. So, with the benefit of that, what inspiration do you draw from him? He being younger your age, but having successfully managed the ministry for 8 years. How does that inspire you as you get into the ministry? As you get into the ministry, how does that inspire you?
I don't think I would want to engage in ageism, as in young person or old person. Look, young people in this republic have served our nation very well. Old people have also performed terribly, and some old people have also performed terribly. So I always don't like it when we try to frame appointment of young people around their ages, and then when it comes to appointing old people, we seem to think that is okay.
Relax, you are not in a box. You are not in the box. Back to your CV. You have item 3 on page 2 of your CV. Minister, Ministry of Communication, February 2013 to January 2017. Then, next one, spokesperson to the President of the Republic of Ghana and minister responsible for information, July 2014 to January 2017. Please clarify that for us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The evidence speaks for itself. Between 2013 and 2017, I was the Minister for Communications. So for the entire 4 years, I was the Minister for Communications. Between July 2014, that is 1.5 years after becoming Minister for Communications, Ministry of Information and the responsibility to speak for the President was added to my portfolio. And so that also lasted up to January 2017. So if you put these two, let's say, on a time scale, you realize that the Ministry of Communications one will start, and then the information one will be 1.5 years afterwards. But they all terminated at the same point, January 2017, specifically 6th of January.
Which means that within the period, the Information Ministry was collapsed.
It was realigned. It was merged with the Ministry of Communications.
Doc, when your party was enacting its manifesto, did you play any role in the enactment regarding the defense policy of the manifesto?
Yes, because, and it's not just in 2024, since 2004, I've always had the privilege, whether directly at the committee level or after the document is put together, to review the entire document. And I remember very well, in reviewing the 2024 one, I was far away in London when the document was sent to me, and I reviewed it. Our document is a very laborious and energy-sapping job. So it was a very active process.
So what you're suggesting to this committee is that what you just saying?
I was asked to review the entire manifesto. Mr. Chairman, that could mean I was being prepared.
The entire manifesto?
Yes.
Okay. No. That's why I'm saying. Take it easy, you are not in the box. Perhaps you didn't understand me. You see, I am asking you very specific questions to enable us make progress and finish quickly. You may have to pay attention to the defense policy of your manifesto. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that the enactment of the defense policy in your manifesto.
Are you saying that was Dr. Omane Boamah a member of the defense subcommittee of the manifesto committee?
It is so.
Thank you. No.
Since you had the opportunity to engage the defense ministry and its hierarchy?
Yes, I've had the opportunity, and I've also had the opportunity to engage members of our defense subcommittee of the NDC manifesto.
Please share with us. I believe they've taken you through an 8-year of an administration, the ups and downs. Share with us the success stories they shared with you during this debriefing.
Mr. Chairman, one, we've been able to sustain no terrorist attack within the territory of Ghana, which is good for our country. By the time we were leaving office, there had not been any such attack. And as we speak, there has also not been any such attack. Great for our country. Again, in terms of embarking on the modernization of the army, the Ghana Armed Forces, we've seen increased recruitment. Of course, right here around this table, challenges like regional balance and the need to ensure equity and all those things have also been raised. And gender and mainstreaming. That is also something that I would say was shared. Then the FOBs, that is the forward operating bases that are being constructed. Unfortunately, implementation has not matched the intention behind it, and that is something that I will pursue critically if I'm given the nod. Then, in terms of modernization efforts, were being made to procure some naval vessel, but intention is one thing, being able to operationalize it. And I believe because of the terrible economic situation, so it became difficult for the government to be able to procure it. And so we believe that governance is a continuum. And when we say we want to modernize the Ghana Armed Forces, it is not just a one-off thing. It's not an event. It will take the incremental additions that successive governments will be engaging in to be able to get our country's armed forces to the level that it must be. And then, if I may add, also the alternate to the 37 military hospital, that is also being considered. I have not seen it physically, so I cannot tell the stage where it is, financing arrangements and everything. But at the right time, I believe Parliament will be seized with the right facts about them.
So you've outlined 7 success stories that at least the ministry has shared with you as achievement for the past 8 years. You've also said that on the terrible economic situation has affected one particular item.
In fact, it cuts through.
Right, it cuts through. All right. Now, in terms of our military, in your briefing, did you come across any information to the effect that the men and women in uniform are owed salaries because of the economic situation we find ourselves, whether they are owed, their salary payment is not up to date? Was there any such information?
I didn't inquire about that. That is something that we can ascertain.
Given the opportunity, would you want to ascertain and get this committee to know?
I believe this is information that Parliament even will have much more power to derive it than a minister designate. It is even out of courtesy and in advancement of our democracy that a ministry will entertain a minister designate. So if Parliament wants to know whether there are salary arrears regarding the military, it will be good for Parliament to request. Unfortunately, there's a finance minister in place. Maybe through that channel, you'll be able to have good responses.
Honorable nominee, you are the sector minister designate. You've received briefing. And obviously, the income, the salaries of soldiers, such a critical thing. is not something to be taken for granted. I'm saying that, don't you think that if November or December were to be outstanding, you would have been told in the briefing?
It's my value judgment that you are seeking to derive on something that the answer should be factual. So I'm saying that if Parliament wishes to know this, Parliament should write to the appropriate quarters. I cannot sit here and pass a value judgment of the many things that were discussed, how they should have prioritized that. I don't want to go in that direction. What if I think so, and it ends up that that my thinking may not be the exact situation? So I'm pleading.
Well, question asked and answered. Let's make progress. Honourable Member.
Honourable Nominee, my next set of questions will be anchored on some documents. To be fair to you, I've made copies and I've actually labeled them, and I have sets of questions, and I'm giving that to you, those documents to you. I have those sets of documents. So with the leave of chairman, we'll pass it through the clerk so that you have it, and then we'll do some exercise on that. Is that fair?
Please do.
Chairman.
So, Honourable Madam Nominee's attention to it so that he can also be on the same page with you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Let's. I've numbered them, please. Okay. Please, let's deal with number 6, please. Please, are you there with me? On number 6, was that document authored by you, please?
The MPP stopped spreading fake news from the Flagstaff House. We know the Boamah campaign admits J.D. Mahama will win the December 7 elections. The NDC is not complacent. J.D. Mahama is focused on winning with 2/3 majority in Parliament. MPP fixed Dumso and...
Line 1, first sentence.
No.
At the time you wrote this, was there any such place called Flagstaff House?
Mr. Chairman, it is only by the good nature of President Mahama that his administration has sustained the name as Jubilee House. Otherwise, by now, the name would have been changed to Flagstaff House again. We all knew the place as Flagstaff House. So if you are referring to the seat of the president, that is Jubilee House, then that was referring to the Jubilee House. But everybody knows in this country, and this is not an official document. This is social media. If I write Flagstaff House, everybody knows exactly where I'm referring to.
Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah, you are on oath. I'm asking you a very simple question. That from this post, was there any place by Flagstaff House, if you want to say that you were referring to Jubilee House, say so.
Yes, I was referring to Jubilee House.
Very well.
Mr. Chair, but isn't it interesting that the 2/3 majority in Parliament, okay, is something that if I discuss today, I must be a very good poster. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Very good poster indeed.
Chairman, if you are encouraged by what the nominee would want to veer into, and I take him there, don't again say that time. I have asked him a very simple question, and I've moved away. If now that is the style of the nominee, there's no problem. I would want us to get in there. Well, let's come to number 2. Read for me the first sentence. Read for me the first sentence.
You labeled this as number 2.
Yes, it's there.
Yes. Lest we forget.
Move with to the second one.
The MPP sloganeers of Ghana Beyond Aid afflicted Ghanaians with unprecedented unemployment and choking national debt, leading to pensioners demonstrating. Yeah.
Do you stand by that?
True. I stand by it.
Very well. That's fine.
Which document are you?
Still on 2.
Unfortunately, I don't have that here. That is not on the 2 I have. Okay, so you can have this. So the 2 are, now let's name 1, 2 alpha, 2 beta, so that we can have different 2s. Because I have 2 of the 2s now.
The one that was just brought to you, let's focus on that one.
Yeah.
Read for me the first paragraph or first sentence.
Criminal MPP.
First sentence.
That read, criminal MPP collaborating with some criminally minded officials to register minors in Ashanti region.
Do you stand by that?
That was a report I received, and at that time they even sent the photos and the NIA card of the minors. It was during the registration exercise. It was our team that were going around that brought the report. Mr. Chairman, there is no way I'll put out information that is not, may get it wrong. But in this case, they sent the images of the Ghana card and images of the children to us. That was it. Because I have always maintained that there is always so much that you could use against your opponent, particularly the MPP administration that just left office. So there's no need to dabble in rhetorics that could not be verified. I was the very person who pursued for 7 months the chunk of ballot papers that were arrested on the 7th of December. I have the evidence how I authorized the operation the 6th of January around 10 p.m. and how I finally authorized the operations around midday of the 7th of December. And it proved to be true. So I'm saying that I will never concoct something. Never.
Please, you've answered the question. Any further question?
Did you verify the supposed information to ascertain its authenticity prior to authoring what you authored?
Thank you very much. At that time, we had all, with great effort, demanded even NIA to even publish district by district issuance of Ghana cards. NIA wouldn't budge. Where was I to verify this from? If your officers on the ground have sent you the evidence that this is Ghana card, a minor that is being registered. If I could have any other way of verifying, why not? I would have. But I had no doubt about it. And I'm saying that all the sources, including sources...
Honorable nominee, the question has been answered. Let's make progress. Honorable nominee, try as much as possible to avoid repeating the answers. Just go straight to provide an answer to the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Doc.
Lawyer.
The criminal NPP, that statement, if somebody, MPP, does not operate in name, MPP operates through individual party members. What you wrote, you said, among other things, that your officers on the ground gave you some feedback and you had no reason to doubt them. Were they able to provide you with names of individuals who, according to them, were involved in this criminal act?
Yes, at the time, they did. It's unfortunate, I mean, like we all do, I cannot trace back to get those details. But if my memory serves me right, I can even mention the particular constituency where that thing was taking place.
Honorable nominee, there's no need to mention the particular constituency, so let's make progress.
So you do not really have available to you the names of those individuals who were involved in this criminal act that you refer to in your post?
At this time, I don't. At the time, I did. Because I've dealt with far more critical issues, data of corrupted voters' register files and all those things. At the time I did. At this time, no.
Can we go to 3?
Is this 3?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Has it been marked 3?
Yes, it's been marked 3.
What is the headline there? Can you read?
Omane Boamah condemns MPP's liberal land looters.
Did you write that NPP had looted state land? Did you write that?
Yes, I did.
Tell us the basis of your assertion that MPP had looted state lands.
The basis is that the lands are administered by a government. The lands are administered by a government. And from the narration of the people who were trying to take possession at 2 a.m., they had claimed it was theirs. Who else can give the land to them apart from the government of the day?
Doc, I've known you for some time.
Very long time.
And I know what is a political statement and what is a statement of fact. In the story, referring to Ghana International School, the security, and the fact that somebody followed that tipper truck to pour some gravels and all. In all fairness, is there anything stating that the person had actually acquired the land from the state and that person is an MPP?
I think you are, no, but I think you are taking it as, when we say a land looter, it is just the one who is going to benefit from it, a beneficiary. No. No.
Educate us. I'm happy.
In fact,
I want us to delve into this and stay here for a little while. No problem.
In fact, I think when it comes to land looting, we, the politicians in office who sit and allow this unconscionable enterprise to happen are more looters than even those who benefit from it.
Honorable nominee, are you familiar with Cantonment? Very well.
I've lived there for 7 years, so I should be from 2010 all the way to 2016. Yeah, so 2016, 2017. So I'm familiar with cantonments.
Are you familiar with how land transactions between the state and private persons take place? Are you familiar with it?
I don't know the extent that you are alluding to, so I will not be able to say yes.
Are you familiar with Ridge?
Yes, at least. We all drive past Ridge. So, yes.
You are aware that in the Ridge area, we have state lands there. You are aware?
Yes.
You are aware that in the Roman Ridge area, we have state lands there.
Yes.
You are aware that in the Labone Cantonment Enclave, we have state lands.
Cantonments, yes. Labone, maybe Labone Secondary School, yes. I don't know about any other places where we may have at Labone.
So, this looting, and you've emphasized something there. The looting of state land by politicians
In office.
in office. It's unconscionable for politicians to, complete that. I just want you to provide
I'm not
clarity.
sure I'll be able to evoke the exact words, and since I'm under oath, so maybe the table office can get that. But you can summarize it to capture the import of what I meant.
On what basis did you relate GIS land? GIS itself acquiring the land from the state, by the way. You are aware of that. Because that area where GIS is situated, and all the lands that GIS as an institution owns are state land that GIS has acquired. Do you know that?
I don't know that as a fact.
So if you don't know that as a fact, on what basis would you conclude that somebody alleging, GIS alleging that portions of its land being taken by a Ghanaian or an individual amount to NPP looting land in cantonment?
I think you are basing your discussion on what Ghana Web I published. The source was not just Ghana Web about this discussion. So don't restrict yourself to just what Ghana Web published. It was about allocation, that it had been allocated, and that is why the individuals had gone there at 2 a.m. to do what they were doing. Ghana Web here is only publishing my post and adding what I will call their editorial aspect to the post. So we need to separate where.
So read aloud your post. Let's deal with your post. Let's forget about Ghana Web. Let's deal with your post. Read aloud your post.
Unfortunately, my post is not even here. It's just the headline. The actual post is not here. The entire thing becomes a story, and even Ghana Web sources it to a different media house. So we need to distinguish.
Doc, I know you to be a very sincere person.
Very, very.
And I respect you for that. You are under oath. You see, read the entire document. Read everything. Read everything.
The Director of Elections and IT for the Opposition National Democratic Congress, Dr. Boamah, has condemned what he described as the activities of land looters under the current New Patriotic administration. His comments come after an attempted land grab at JIS in Cantonment, Accra, was foiled by the school's security team and local police. Mr. Boamah, in a Facebook post dated September 5, 2024, praised the school's management for standing firm against what he termed liberal land looters. The incident reportedly occurred in the early hours of Saturday, August 29, 2024, when a tipper truck loaded with sand arrived at the school property's gate at around 2 a.m., attempting to dump its load on the land. Franklin Ponsa Mensah, principal of GIS, recounted that the school's security personnel acted swiftly and called in the cantonment's police for support. A plainclothes individual driving a Toyota Camry with registration number ER 29723 also arrived on there's something that is missing, insisting that the truck be allowed to enter that is also missing, but they capture everything here. Also arrived on the scene, insisting that the truck be allowed to enter the property. Okay. However, the combined efforts of the school's security team and police officers prevented the unauthorized entry and potential illegal takeover of the land. Expressing gratitude to the security team and police, Mr. Boamah condemned the brazen attempt to seize the property. This is also obfuscated, but it's repeated here. Expressing gratitude to the security team and police, Mr. Boamah condemned the brazen attempt to seize the school's property. And then they quote me, but they have put something there and quoted. It's not like this.
The dog.
This one I can identify.
Dog.
So they...
Dog. Did the publication misquote any aspect of your post?
Honorable, this is as far back as September 2024.
Yes, please.
And under oath, I will not... Look, if I see this,
Honorable nominee.
I know that this is...
Honorable nominee, take it easy.
So I wouldn't know.
When you are reminded that you are under oath, the question that followed is read your posts.
Yeah.
And your response was to the effect that this is not your post.
No, this
now,
is not like my Facebook
book post.
Or,
so now, what I will want to do is that if the Honorable Ranking is having your post that he wants you to read, different from what they have written somebody has written based on your post, then he can also read your post louder.
No, the thing is, if it had come, let's say, if this...
Yeah, I understand that this is somebody's story based on your post, but this is actually not your post.
I wouldn't be able to tell if what is in quotation marks,
yes,
all of it
yes,
is attributed to me.
To you, but this is not your post. That is why I'm saying that if he by chance have your post as a result of which this publication was made by another person, then he should be dealing with you regarding your post, but not what somebody has written based on your post. Because in effect, you are not the author of that. Are you the author of that? What you've read, are you the author?
The entire document, no.
Yes.
It's a journalist writing.
Taking
leave from...
Thank you very much. Let's make progress.
Honorable nominee, do you disagree with the content of the publication, which publication refers to your 5th September Facebook post? Do you disagree with the content?
I don't have a disagreement with the content.
Then I shall proceed to put you the necessary questions since you don't disagree with it. So this is the point I want to make. The issue between that so-called claimant to part of the GIS land, the issue between that claimant who was claiming part of GIS land, which came to your attention, that very matter of somebody claiming GIS land and all, how does that relate to MPP looting?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have said here that such acquisitions or illegal acquisitions, okay, the person must be a very bold investor to want to go and take GIS land without some authorization. But if for the purposes of today, you want to say that because it was a private person going to take GIS's land, so I should not have linked it to the MPP. I can understand you. But we can always get to the bottom of this matter to know who that person is and whether the person was even acting on behalf of someone, and know the processes that led to that bold invasion of GIS's land at 2 a.m. So I can understand what you are saying, that the person is a private person acting on his own without any authorization from any government, without any documentation from any government. But the person just went and decided to take over part of GIS's land. If that is the view that is being expressed, then I agree with you that I should not have added MPP to it.
Especially so, Honorable Nominee, when the person moved in at 2 a.m. But when you are dealing with a matter and your respected friend or brother sincerely proceeding in a path, you don't litigate. And I would say that your honest admission that it was inappropriate to have linked MPP to it, I would not pursue. No, some of your guests are participating in this process, so let us spend a little time there. Chairman, Honorable Nominee, do you concede that the subject matter resulting in your post was inappropriate to the extent that you linked it to NPP?
Mr. Chairman, I have said that for the purposes of today's discussion, today's vetting, and I use if it is the case that the person was just a bold investor without any authorization, decided to invade part of GIS's land, then I should not have linked MPP to it. But this is a matter that I will pursue to know the root cause of this particular boldness, because I know capital moves in directions where its peace and security will be assured. So I'll be very surprised that an investor would do such a thing, but it's possible. So why not? Let's go by the scenario that you have set. If that is what it was, then I should not have linked MPP to it.
You would agree with me that at the time you put out the post, you did not verify the source of the person's claim. You would agree with me?
Honorable Chair, Honorable Minority Leader is in opposition. And even when you are in government, it's very difficult to verify. Even when your party is in government, it's very difficult to verify some of these things. So it's a good position that you are taking. However, considering the circumstances at the time, where was I supposed to call the Honorable Lands Minister then, or the Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, or the Land Title Registry? Who was I to call to have a fair response? That's why I'm saying, considering the scenario that you have set, perfect. If that is it, then I shouldn't have linked MPP to it. But trust me, and you know me, when I say I'll pursue something, I will pursue it.
Doc, simple. At the time you put out your post, you did not have evidence at your hand that it was an MPP-generated action and same amounted to looting at the time you put out your posts.
The circumstantial evidence was strong. However, if you want hard evidence, no.
Chairman, honorable nominee says that to verify is normally difficult. May I know from you whether you are aware of the law we passed, the RTI law? You are aware? The right to information law that we passed as a public officer?
I'm aware.
Now, did you explore relying on your rights under RTI to pursue this matter prior to putting out that post at the time?
Honorable Leader, the nominee is not a lawyer, so you should find out from the nominee whether, having realized that law, he knows any right available for him under the law first. Then you can proceed to ask whether he has explored that right.
Learned Senior, I take a cue from you. We are all learning here. That's fair enough. Okay, so back to your question so that we can make progress. You are aware of the existence of the Right to Information Act?
I'm aware.
You are also aware that under the law, you as an ordinary citizen can invoke your right to request for any information from any public institution. You are aware?
Mr. Chair, I have not read the law, but it's an information that has come to my attention. However, just as the information that came to my attention through mass media is being contested today, I'm in a dilemma whether to push my understanding that that is the case that I can apply or I cannot. But I strongly believe it's something that I can apply. But it is not that I have read the law. It is that it is understanding of the law that I have gleaned from discussions on the law. But the right to information has had its own issues. If you talk to anti-corruption activists,
Honorable Nominee, Chairman gave you a cue. Chairman gave you a cue. Specifics. Please, help matters. Your guests are becoming impatient with me, but you are the cause. Now,
I'm not.
This 2 a.m. intruder, whose action has resulted in this huge post. Did you, the 2 a.m., the claimant today, the one who sent a tipper truck to the GIS land, that's the reference point. I'm coming back to a question there. You did a post based on an individual sending a tipper truck with gravels to be poured on GIS, a portion of GIS land, which through the vigilance of the security, the person was not successful. Question. This very person, did you get to know his name prior to the posting?
Mr. Chair, no. However, remember that I have said looting of state lands is not just the responsibility of the beneficiaries. It's a process. And so we need to conceptualize looting of state lands within this framework. Otherwise, we will only go after those who loot the lands and leave those who facilitate the looting.
So let's deal with the looting. When you say looting and those who facilitate, what do you mean by looting? When you use that word looting, what exactly do you mean? Let's understand it in its ordinary context. What do you mean by looting?
What I mean by looting of state lands is several. One, that practice, which today has left many civil servants trekking longer distances to ministries to work because politicians under the guise of all kinds of policies in failing, this, that, sell state lands to individuals, some in public office, some retired, some business people, and sometimes even at very ridiculously low amounts. It is one of the variants.
So, fortunately, you are going into the Ministry of Defense. Now, let's go to chain homes. Chain homes.
What is chain homes?
No, I'll explain. Don't worry. Just take it easy. Doc, I'll get there. Chain homes, that estate at Chado, which land was originally owned by the military. That land, that whole area. I'm giving you a background. You said you didn't know. I'm giving you a background.
I want to ask a question.
No, you can't ask. I'm laying a foundation. I said something and you wanted clarity. So let me help. I'm saying that Chado area where chain homes, that estate is currently situated. Just by it, you see the military cemetery. I'm saying that that whole enclave belonged to the military high command of this country. I'm laying a foundation. And as a result of this city, acquired it from the state. At the time they were getting on the land, the military access to the land, and they built that estate. Would you, as Minister of Defense, be interested in how this land was acquired from the military? Because the whole enclave was estate land. Would you be interested in finding out it into this first-class estate facility?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. But what I want to know is it the case that that chain homes enclave was owned by the military? I believe with your blessing, when I get there, I will be able to know whether it was owned or if a leader can also assist subsequently with what the components of the ownership is. That will be great.
Thank you very much for your answer, Leader.
Chairman.
Let's proceed.
Chairman, I would want to go to number 5.
Chairman, let me seek your guide in this matter. Chairman, with all due respect, leader may have an unlimited opportunity to ask questions. But I'm so concerned as the majority chief whip, who is the vanguard of government business. The ranking member cannot take 3 hours to ask his questions. So if he says that he will continue tomorrow, we have to go back and come back tomorrow. So as the government chief whip, I am so concerned about the procedure he's adopting. And the government business is affected. You are supposed to lay a report. Because of this, you are unable to move. And the 7th report is in abeyance. And we are allowing the ranking member to go on and on, the people's address and all that. So, Chairman, can we have a guide that when the ranking member has the opportunity to ask his questions, can he have 30 minutes? Can he have 1 hour? Can he have 2 hours? So that when that duration is exhausted, we can make progress. Because while I am sitting, the calls I'm getting from my government and the party I'm under pressure. I'm under pressure. Yes, government business must make progress. If the ranking member, who is the opposition leader, says, I will vet for 3 days. No.
Honourable members, with all due respect, I belong to a school of thought that believes in the fact that when a procedure is set down for a right to be exercised, you follow that procedure in exercising the right. By practice, convention, and agreement at this committee's meeting, it was resolved that a ranking member of the committee would have unlimited number of questions to ask. I do not believe that any member of the committee available at which that decision was taken should come to the floor and take a decision contrary to what we have agreed upon, contrary to the practice and conventions. So please, let us not create the impression that this is the first time that a ranking member and a minority leader will be having unlimited number of questions to ask. So please, the public is of the view that I have the power to stop ranking member when he's asking a question. I do not want that view to be fortified by any member of the committee. We've all agreed that we are going by the old convention and practice that ranking member of the committee would have unlimited number of questions to ask. So we are leaving it to the discretion of the ranking member, whether he will be reasonable about asking the question or he wants to ask the question till tomorrow. That is the instruction that we have agreed upon, and that is what exactly I am doing. So public, general public, please take note.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable nominee, may I inform you that you can take a break to use the washroom, take water, get a snack, and would accommodate you. It's your right. We, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, had 2 days of vetting. And in between, he was allowed coffee break. He was able to take some break and came back and all that. So that was it.
Mr. Chairman, I think that the honorable ranking. Chairman, you see, this is a house of records. Mr. Chairman, this is a house of records.
Honorable
ranking
you
member
don't have the floor. You are not a member of this committee, so you don't have the floor.
The facts. As a former member of this committee,
Honorable
there was a reason why.
I will not agree on this disorderly behavior. I don't want to invoke the necessary orders.
Honorable nominee, please kindly have a look at number 5. Number 5, please. Kindly read aloud number 5, what you posted there.
MPP government, you cannot give Ghana's lithium away for peanuts and turn around to tax electricity.
Doc, please, are you aware that at the time that you made this post, the lithium agreement was before Parliament for scrutiny?
It's possible. It's possible. I won't contest it.
And I am, at the risk of being immodest, suggesting to you that, in all fairness to the government, this was most inappropriate. To say that the lithium, Ghana's lithium, was being given away for a peanut.
Can I respond?
Yes, I've asked the question.
We differ in opinion. For instance, if I'm to go into what we can use lithium for, okay, what we can use lithium for, we will not treat lithium like other minerals, even if this is a bit enhanced. So you may have to understand where some of these thoughts are coming from. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but also agree with my position and respect it. Because I'm looking at the alternate use of lithium.
Thank you very much. Can we make progress?
Honorable nominee, greatest respect to you. At the time you made this post, had you seen the draft lithium agreement? Had you seen it?
Honorable, such questions, with the greatest of respect, are unfair to citizens. It takes away the role of the fourth estate of the realm. Unless we are to say that citizens should not take anything.
Honorable, I only ask you whether, respectfully.
I have not seen it.
No, sure.
And even to date, I have not seen it.
Yes, right. It's okay. I don't want, I would. So you confirm that at the time you made this post, that government was selling lithium at a peanut. You had not seen the agreement. You confirm?
I had not seen the agreement, but I had seen reports coming from reputable media houses.
No. I'm talking about the agreement. You had not seen the agreement.
I've answered that, and I've also suggested that I had read reports coming from reputable media houses.
Which media houses did you read their reports? Which media houses?
It includes the multimedia group.
The multimedia. Did you read it on their website?
Mr. Chair, I'm unable to recall exactly what happened like 2 years ago. This was...
Thank you very much.
Or like about a year ago, exactly where I read
thank you very much. You've answered the question. Please, let's make progress. This is another document.
Yes. The one that you didn't have the correct, so I put it, so you should read it.
Didn't they do what I'm doing now to me? You were sitting here when they were doing this.
Darling, Boamah, give it to give to.
Honorable nominee, most respectfully, you have in your hand a document. First, identify the document. Is it a document that was authored by you? Please.
Mr. Chair, Honorable Leader is back to the GIS land.
Because at the time, Chairman, I took a cue from Chairman that because it was a media reportage, it would be fair for us to get a source document, which you yourself said it wasn't a source document. So there's a document in your hand. I just want to know from you, first of all, whether this was a document authored by you.
Honorable,
Yes.
You see, we need to distinguish between posts like this, which I can see my profile on and everything, you understand? As compared to something printed on this, you understand? And to expect me, after several months, to say that page 1, page 2, I should confirm it's a document.
That's okay.
It's very unfair.
Doc, that's okay. That's okay. Doc, please, the document in your hands.
Which one?
The one I just gave you.
Okay.
Doc, be patient with me, respectfully.
I'm very patient.
Yeah,
with
sure.
you.
So
and I thought,
no, relax.
Mr. Chair, if you permit me, I thought we had settled on this matter. That if his view is that this was a very bold investor who had no approvals from government, just went in and decided to loot part of GIS's land, then, if we are to go by that, then I should not have linked MPP to it. But I said I don't believe that kind of situation is the case. And I promise here that I will investigate it as a citizen of Ghana to get to the bottom of it. So I felt we had settled this matter about GIS's land. His scenario, I conceded that if his scenario was the case, then I shouldn't have linked MPP to it.
Chairman, with that explanation and clarity, I would not pursue your post-verbatim. No, Doc. I am with you. I'm acting in fairness to you, because your earlier statement did not get to where you've just gotten to. That is why I brought back the exact post you made. If
Chairman,
that is the position you've
taken,
taken,
office.
Chairman, if that is the position, then I will not pursue that document. And I'm being very fair with you.
Very well.
I'm just being very fair. If that's the concession you've made, then we don't need to pursue that. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's
exactly.
have some soft issues.
Let's move on.
Doc,
Honorable nominee.
Politics with me. If you
Honorable nominee.
Politics with me, then don't.
When the question,
don't be irritated when we start the politics. Huh? I am here.
Honorable nominee.
Then you want to do partisan.
The question asked, you answered. That is for some time. It's not a direct post where you will be able to see the document and admit that this is my post. So, therefore, you have a difficulty accepting whether this is your post or not. And the questioner is saying that if that is your answer, he wants to abandon any further question on that and proceed on another angle. So let's take it in good faith and allow him to proceed on another angle, but not what you are not able to identify, whether it is your post or not your post.
And let me remind you on a lighter note that the fact that I'm grilling you does not mean that when you get there and you are supposed to give protocol allocation, you deny me. I'm telling you. You cannot, because yes, there is, and committee members benefited. Yes, there is something like that. When I was a defense committee member, your ranking, your members benefited. I am saying it on authority. They did. They even had more than with the MPP members. They did. I'm not. That's a fact. Kennedy Japan was the chair of the Defense and Interior Committee. They benefited. So I'm telling you that when you are giving, don't think that because I grilled you, you will not allocate.
Honorable ranking member. Honorable ranking member, I have also been in this house for some time. I was a member of parliament and at a point became the ranking member for Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, a very important committee of parliament. But I know nothing called protocol. What really happened is that our constituents will come with the form. Then as a member of parliament, you have to be pleading with the sector ministers whether or not they can help. So that is what I know. But I have not seen a situation where they say that a member, you have this number of people, go to your constituency and bring them to come and join military. And I'll keep on making this particular point to the Ghanaians. So I beg, please, if some people were treated that way, then there is an element of discrimination. Because some of us didn't know what is even protocol. We go to beg. You plead like you are becoming a defense minister. It is time for recruitment into the military. You will see members of parliament coming to your office to come and plead and intervene on behalf of their constituents. But you won't tell them that, oh, I have 10 members, go and bring them automatically to come and join the military. That is not it. So let me use the opportunity to clear the doubts.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Recruitments and enlistments will follow the rules of engagement strictly. You have my assurance.
Honorable nominee, what is your party's or your government defense policy? What is your government's defense policy?
To ensure a safe, peaceful, and prosperous nation that is respected among the Committee of Nations.
Do you have that enactment as contained in your manifesto with you? What you've just said?
You would have to put a lot together, because you should know that the manifesto one are promises. For government policy, okay, the party has transitioned into government. You are vetting the minister designate. You are vetting the minister. You are vetting the minister designate. And actually, the defense policy document is as old as 2012, thereabout. Mr. Chair.
Do you have a copy of your manifesto with you?
I do.
You have it in soft?
Yes, soft.
Please open the aspect that deals with the defense policy of your government. We need to have some exercise there. I have some questions for you on your defense policy as a government. You made a lot of promises. Let's deal with some questions on your defense policy.
Public safety, 148. Yes. Mr. Chair, I'm there.
Proceed to read it aloud and in extenso.
Mr. Chairman, it is quite lengthy. So if you are to...
You have a preamble to read.
Public safety and security. Public safety and security have declined significantly since...
No. Is that your defense policy?
They go... You see, you need to take it. Honorable, you need to take it...
Preamble to your defense policy.
So you want the Ghana Armed Forces?
Page what? I have your defense... Wait. I have it here with me. Wait.
Exactly. So that's why I took it from 6.4. If you want Ghana Armed Forces, it's 6.4.7.
Momento. Yes, that's your 6.4. What paragraph are you referring to?
Exactly. So that's why I'm trying
Which
to...
paragraph, Honorable
Honorable,
nominee?
I'm trying to guide that if you want Ghana Armed Forces, go to 6.4.7.
Wait.
If you want public safety
No, but public
and
safety has
security,
nothing to do with
6.4.
your defense policy.
Oh,
My respected
Honorable.
colleague, Honorable Boamah, would want to
Honorable, they are
come in,
linked.
provide a guide.
That is why the defense and strategy,
Chairman, Boamah, sorry. Chairman, I'm sorry.
they are linked.
Chairman.
This is the full version.
I have the full version, Chairman, but sorry.
Let me hear Honorable Boamah.
I think leader wants to end, but wants you to look at the preamble to the entire security architecture. That is 6.4, where it talks about the retooling, professionalism. That's short paragraph. I'm sure from there you go to the police, fire service, armed forces. We've read your manifesto. We understand it.
Yes. So
we,
that is
we
why...
even know the paragraphs. That's why we directed you to 6.4. So that's all.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
all
you.
he wants to know.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Nominee, you are accordingly guided. You now know what you should read.
Yes. So 6.4, public safety and security. Public safety and security declined significantly since 2017. We have seen an explosion of violent crime, partisan political capture of security services, and falling professional standards. The next NDC government will critically review the national security architecture and comprehensively implement reforms to ensure professionalism. The reforms will primarily focus on equipping all security agencies to effectively execute their mandate towards ensuring the well-being, personal safety, and security in Ghana. The following policies will be implemented. Then it goes...
Hold on a second. Let's stop there. Now, would you be surprised from what you've just said? And I will quote, public safety and security have declined significantly since 2017. We have seen an explosion of violent crime, partisan political capture of security services, and falling professional standards. I'll pick it one after the other. One, would you be surprised with statistics from the Ghana Police Service to the effect that public safety and security have rather improved? Would you be surprised to receive statistics, data from the Ghana Police Service that since 2017 up until now, we have seen an improved public safety and security? Would you be surprised to see that data and
Yes.
statistics? You'll be surprised.
Yes.
Very well. Next. Would you again be surprised to receive data and statistics from the police that we have seen a reduction in violent crime since 2017? Would you be surprised?
Yes.
All right. Now, Doc, I suggest to you that what you just read has nothing to do with the defense policy of your government. I want to suggest that to you.
Honorable, you see, this is why you should have listened to me. Because to have a defense policy, it has to be a progeny of the national security architecture. And that was even what was lacking in the 2012 or so defense policy. At the time that there was no national security strategy. So that is why I was asking, should I go and read Ghana Armed Forces? Is that what you are asking for? Or you want the entirety? Honorable, please, I need your attention. Yes.
Have our attention.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. So I'm saying that I was trying to make that point, that defense policy emanates from a bigger national security strategy, architecture. So you cannot just zoom into the Ghana Armed Forces. That is why I took it from there. And then when you said no, I then went down to the Ghana Armed Forces. Then I was asking you, should I read Ghana Armed Forces? The Honorable Boamah said, no, I should go back to the public safety and security. So, if you guide me appropriately and provide exactly what you want, I have the document here. I brought it because of questions such as this, so that we can refer. I will gladly read them, whichever one that you want.
Honorable nominee, you stated in your CV that you were a Catholic, correct? A practicing one, for that matter.
Yes, correct.
To what extent would you, a Roman Catholic? Which parish, please?
Christ the King. Christ the King.
Very well. To what extent has the Catholic Church prepared you in moral values to the extent that you are able to embrace diversity, especially as you assume this office as Defense Minister of your country?
Thank you very much. I owe my ability to even be in national politics partly to what I went through in the Catholic Church. We spoke about the Cadet Commandery 403 in Koforidua, which I was president of. You come across several people, both privileged and underprivileged youth. You deal with all of them coming from different backgrounds. As a former mass servant, you come across many people. Again, we've interacted with several priests, both foreign and Ghanaian priests, who really exposed us to the real world and answered our questions, some of them which bordered on even the Trinity and all. So in terms of diversity, the Catholic Church is a very diverse church, people from all walks of life, several backgrounds, and I have interacted with them, and I still continue to interact with them.
So how does this background prepare you to embrace the diversity you are going to face at the Defense Ministry?
I go there not just as somebody that the Catholic Church has prepared. I go there as someone who has been baked in many ways through different experiences. My work with the military, medical practice, other political engagements, and everything. So it is holistic. The values that we've been taught, the Christian value of tolerance, is also something that leads me, and I believe that even people who deliberately would decide to take me on the rough road, they believe that he's very forgiving. So he's likely to forgive them. That is why they continue to do it. So I'm going to the ministry as a very tolerant person, somebody who believes in the doctrine of love your neighbor as yourself.
Of course, your faith is well-founded.
Extremely.
Let me conclude by saying that this morning there was a little issue about your appearance. We had received some information to the effect that you were to be here at 9. Apparently, the letter to you stated 11. And I think my respected colleague at the bar, Madam Joyce Bawa-Mutari, was quick to alert us. But this was after I had passed some comment. Let me unreservedly say sorry to you to the extent that some listeners and viewers had construed that to mean that you were late in coming to us. I mean, I think it is only fair that I, in your presence, reiterate that point. So it was no fault of yours. That said, I have nothing useful to add to all the questions I've asked you. I wish you well. You would hear from us as a committee. Thank you very much, sir.
Honourable members, thank you very much. Let me also add that apology for any comment coming from any member of the committee regarding you coming before us late. In the morning, I stated clearly to all the members of the committee that in life, patience is the key. So sometimes we need to be patient. There is an adage in my language that it is out of patience that you'll be able to operate an ant so as to be able to see the intestine. So patience is a cardinal point in life, so that we hasten slowly. Honourable members, at long last, we've come to the end of the vetting of the Minister Designate for Defence. Honourable members, permit me to proceed to recognize his guests. We have in our midst Lieutenant General Bismarck Onwuna, Chief of the Army. We have Vice Admiral Issa Yakubu, Chief of the Naval Staff. We have Air Commodore Eric Ajafrimpong, Acting Chief of the Air Staff. We have Honorable Joyce Bauer Muntari, Senior Presidential Advisor and Special Aide. We have Honorable Marietta Brew Opon, or Apia Opon, former Attorney General and Minister responsible for justice, now legal advisor to the President. We have Honorable Faustina Nelson, Senior Comrade. We have Obobia Dako Opoku, Deputy Communication Director, NDC. We have Mahdi Jibril, Deputy Election Director, NDC. And we have Tanko Rashid, Deputy Election Director, NDC. We have Regional Chairman, Ashanti, Upper West, Western North, and Eastern Region. And we also have Honorable Dr. Kobna Dufo, former Minister responsible for Finance. You are all welcome. If I've not been able to mention your name, you are also welcome. Honorable nominee, you will surely hear from the committee and you are hereby discharged.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
The next nominee should take his seat.
Yes, no language.
Honorable, please take your seat.